All right, welcome to Cinekuest video again. We are going to be talking about the movie Donnie Darko, and this kind of goes along with our time travel. At this point, it's just time travel.
May I just point out that we've done a really poor job trying to talk about how they conceptualize time travel, but I think it's part of the problem with the movies that we're looking at, because I think that we just in our heads we just thought that like maybe Time Bandits was like more fly with how they perceive time travel, but then we end up wondering if it's even time travel.
Right.
Same with 12 Monkeys. So I just kind of wonder if it's like the nature of the movies.
I think the only one that's like almost solid time travel movie is Time Cop. That we know for sure.
In our series,
yes,
I'm inclined to agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we think about this movie.
Yeah.
So
we might change our minds on certain things.
We might. I don't know.
Yeah.
A discussion amongst the three of us can kind of like either solidify our viewpoint or change it. I know you had that. With 12
I had my
Monkeys,
12 Monkeys revelation. I was like, oh, wow. But check out that episode, which should be out before you guys check this out. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So you should check that out.
Yeah.
So Donnie Darko came out in 2001, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal. It was produced by that Flower production company by Drew.
Drew
Barrymore's
Barrymore's fucking company, where the hell it's called. Yeah.
When was the first time you guys seen Donnie Darko?
It was, I was in college, so it was 2000, but definitely around the time period, it was 2006 or 2007-ish. Buddy's brother, who's probably more an acquaintance now. But I mean, I was like in his wedding kind of as an usher. But anyway, we would commute back and forth to college a bunch and would check out stuff. Like he introduced me first like Boondock Saints and some other cool movies. So there were like some decent movies that came up on the reg. So he was like, hey, have you checked out Donnie Darko? And then I checked it out and kind of
forgot about it.
Kind of, yeah. It was one of those, like, I knew I saw it. I knew it kind of had something to do with time travel. I remember it being weird. But it wasn't until the most recent watching, and we'll get into our discussion on that here soon. But yeah, so 2006, 2007, probably more 2007. So 6 years after it released ish.
I own a copy of Donnie Darko.
No shit.
Yeah, and I'd never seen it. It was given to me. I don't remember how it came to my possession necessarily, but I know it was.
Was it
just
like
appeared?
Off of one of those talks that Roland said didn't exist earlier off mic about like how no one has a conversation like, hey, have you seen Donnie Darko? We should check it out. It's a cool movie. Like, did you get your DVD in that kind of context?
Right. This will make a great
I'm pretty
gift.
sure whoever bestowed the copy onto me was a fan. Inflicted, sure. Like, was a fan of the movie.
was your enemy?
I've only heard positive things about Donnie Darko.
Give him this really shitty movie.
I've not met anyone who said a negative thing about Donnie Darko.
Like, can we go into stats real quick?
Well, I mean, one moment. I just want to make sure to get Roland's take on this as well.
Yeah.
But I will say this before, Roland, you continue. I had not watched it until we first talked about doing it. And then I finally decided to delve in and give it a try.
That's really fucking funny.
And I've had a copy sitting there in my collection of Donnie Darko for the longest time, and I've never popped it in. Never.
Finally, your time is now.
You know,
really?
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, there's things when people continuously say something's good, it just makes me not want to watch it.
Yeah, all the time.
You know?
I think you're probably like an OG hipster.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, but like not like trying to suggest it in a negative, but just, you know, like, I don't know, maybe you're a contrarian.
No, I think I'm just suspicious. When too many people like a certain thing, I'm just like, is it really that good?
So we're gonna circle back on my
I don't like
OG
this.
hipster hypothesis.
Okay, probably,
now,
I guess.
Right.
I've been hearing a lot of things about Squid Games.
You could be the anti-hipster.
Right?
So have I, and I couldn't care less.
To watch it, and
I couldn't care less.
There you go.
Like looking at it, yeah. Like I've had family that are like, oh yeah, it's this and this and this. And I'm like, that sounds dumb.
And this is for Valley Strange, but there's a new comedy on Netflix. It's a cartoon, but it's like Rick and Morty-esque art. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's basically about the shadow government and the bunch of just dipshit, cartoon characters that kind of run it, but they're like are showing like in this trailer fucking, the queen and other royalty turning into reptilians and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So it's like, and I'm kind of like, oh no, you guys are normalizing this. Ha ha ha.
Well, I mean, I've told you this. One of the first things before Valley Strange was even a thing, I still have it. It's a kid's book talking about the Illuminati and all that kind of shit.
Oh, word.
And which I'll bring it up at some
I remember
point.
that.
That was
a
like
cool
the first
little-
episode we were supposed to do.
We should
That was
do
a cool little
yeah,
book.
we should do a book for the kids.
For the kids.
For the
the
kids.
family friendly episode. But yeah.
Except we're going to say fuck a bunch. So, like,
Kids say
cover the
fuck.
ears.
maybe we'll have a
They're
bleep
fine.
episode or something.
Yeah.
Or just do it like our parents did. Like when titties are coming on the screen, my mom was like,
Close your eyes. Yeah.
like,
Then I'm just like, what?
But Roland,
Pause.
what's your
what's
experience
your
with Donnie
history?
Darko?
history.
A friend showed it to me, I think like my first year in college. So I think that was like in 2004, 2005 or so.
Well, the movie had been out only like a few years by that time.
Yeah, it was. It hadn't been out for very long at the time. I think he had it on DVD or something. I was just chilling at some friend's place, and we were all just drinking, and then getting ready to pass out for the night. And so he just puts it on. He's like, "Yeah, this. I've heard good things about this." And he puts it on. I sat there, just sort of like confused.
I don't believe you were quiet though.
Oh no, I was because I was drunk.
Oh, this is also weird. You're never
Yeah.
quiet when you're drunk.
I was tired.
He was more boisterous.
So like the thing is like.
You're sleeping.
So like, I was drunk and I was not drinking.
So
Therefore, I was
you
tired.
Probably didn't
I was falling asleep and shit.
watch like any of the movie on the first
No,
go?
I watched all of it somehow. I don't know how. Honestly, like thinking back, I don't understand how I stayed awake. Because like it was boring. The dialogue, I wasn't interested in the dialogue or the plot. Like I saw the little effects and the things of the time travel, or rather lack of, or I guess the theories that they try to
We're
pull out.
gonna hash this out,
weird
I think.
shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I sort of thought it was amusing at the end of the night, but again, I was drunk. Later on, I think over the years I've seen it like maybe once or twice again. Here, I don't even remember how. Like it was probably just I was probably just flipping through the TV channels and like it was there. And I just thought it was the same boring, nonsensical crap that I remembered from the first time I saw it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I guess a good stats time, because
Okay.
I don't remember the exact numbers, but I mean, go out there, listener, or you may already walk in knowing this, listening to this episode about how well regarded this fucking movie is.
Right.
It is very
Yeah.
regarded.
On IMDb's list of like time travel movies, I think it cracks the top 20 at the outside. I think it
Everyone-
cracks the
On
top 10.
IMDb, it has an 8 out of 10.
Anyone that's ever
Yeah.
told me about
Rating.
these movies, aside from the two of you, has always said, "Oh, they're great. Oh, it's great. You love this. This is so cool." It's
and
eh.
we'll do an entire video about this probably next year, whenever we start to like, flesh out certain topics that we want to go over. Not necessarily movie ratings, but like just talking about movies in general, or different types of lists, because we like lists, and we want to do some more list stuff. And
Yeah, because to be quite real to you guys, we've been doing this for 3 years, but we're still in a lot of ways figuring out what these shows we're doing actually are supposed to be.
Yeah, we've done a few lists already. We've done like top horror, top mostly dealing with horror specifically.
List, man. I can
Yeah,
spend a
more
long
lists, yeah.
afternoon on lists, man.
But we have some episodes coming your way, and this one was talked about by Roland and I. I think I mentioned to you, Daniel, like, without giving too much away on my rating, as one of the movies that I feel is very overrated.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
well, I'll get into more detail about that whenever that video does come out. But a lot of people hold this movie in high regard, and at this point, I want to like call their bluff. I want to see like
What does this movie?
what is this
what did this
movie-
movie tell you?
yeah, what is this movie about?
Oh, really?
What is
And-
it?
And please,
The
Do not-
philosophy of destiny?
we
Interesting.
have well studied the Wikipedia pages on this
Yes.
fucking movie.
I've read it many times.
So
It is nothing.
Don't come out with any of that kind of
No,
bullshit. 'Cause
like-
this is actually like a high concept movie or whatever. that
Right, yeah.
generally
Then
means
why
that,
is
like,
any
the
of-
meaning is multivalent?
Why is none of that bullshit mentioned at all? Like within these
And,
descriptions.
I mean,
Fuck
I-
you guys. None of you.
I have seen lots of videos on YouTube explaining this after the fact, and everyone has a majority of the persons making these videos or these
it's just like their
having
own
these
theory or
explanations.
whatever.
They all have a. I didn't know what it meant at first until I had to go back and research or like read all these things
Yeah.
to
Right.
kind of figure out what the movie was about. I'm like, then what did you enjoy about the movie? You know?
Yeah. Like, is this some sort
Then
of
it left me
like
with so many questions.
AR game? Like, yeah.
That'd be fucking nuts.
So we want to go
You have
into
to
a quick.
use the internet land to make Donnie Darko make sense, but then you also use Donnie Darko to make the internet land make sense, and then
No.
maybe you drive to Kansas and
What?
find a capsule, and there's the next clue for like.
So what you end up doing is you book the last flight on that plane that crashes into his house.
The red eye, man.
It's just the engine. It's not the whole thing.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but where's the rest of
The
that plane
engine.
going?
Yeah, where
Probably
is it?
down.
You
It's
know,
in a vortex somewhere.
that
yeah.
plane would have only taken off
Where the fuck
a maximum
did they
capacity.
go,
So
man?
you're still
But that's-
responsible.
See, that's the thing. Like, if that engine crashed into his room, where did the plane go? Like,
Yeah.
we only hear about the engine crashing into his room. Where
And
did, like,
nobody connects the
you
dots
don't-
where
you don't hear about it. It just sort of
mom and
fades out.
sister are missing.
Yeah.
And so actually, I'm really confused about the timing of this movie because engine crashes through approximately a month
So
before
it's
the end of the
28 days,
world.
yeah.
Yeah.
28
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
But the plane gets caught in the vortex within that 28. So I wonder if it's kind of like the deeper meaning is like the world isn't ending like per se.
I just had a thought in my head, and I
Uh-oh.
need y'all to just help me out with this.
yeah,
okay?
let's work it out, man.
You know, it's 28 days before the world ends, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how significant this is, but like the movie was shot in 28 days, right?
Yes, it was.
But I'm looking at the movie 28 days later.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were
It
gonna
was supposed to be
fucking,
the end of the
yes.
world.
Where's this
Now-
nonsensical crap? Okay, yeah. That's
Was this part of like a Donnie Darko universe?
You know, and this kind of like rhymes
There it
like
is.
away. It rhymes with sways or Swayze. and then we're in fucking Dirty Dancing. And
They go, how many days before Patrick Swayze died of cancer? Was it
Yeah.
28 days? That's the joke.
how many times did the
28
doctor
months?
tell him you have 28 days or 28 months
Yeah.
or 28 weeks or something?
I love Patrick Swayze, so just a joke. Just a joke.
Well, I mean, he ain't gonna bitch much.
Well, I know, but I mean, he's a very lovable person.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah, no,
people
no.
like him.
Love
I don't
the
want that
Sways.
people to think I'm besmirching his good name. You know, like, I mean, he wasn't. He's fucking Johnny from Dirty Dancing. You know,
Hell yeah,
he's very loved in
dude. Dalton,
Roadhouse. Yes.
fucking Roadhouse.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because he's like a philosopher. You ever seen Roadhouse, man?
yes.
You
He's
like
like
it?
a philosopher. And a guy who's got a decent moral compass there, bud.
Yeah.
And he can also spin a kick.
And sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, you're going against that? Huh?
No.
I think you are.
Man.
Are you kidding me? I base my wardrobe around that shit. See my jacket?
I have a throwaway Reddit account where every Monday I man crush Monday a picture of Patrick Swayze.
Now,
you only submit those through incognito mode. You don't
Yeah,
want to.
sure.
Nah, man, VPN, dude. Just straight up, I'm from Portugal.
Reroutes you back to fucking Harlingen, Texas.
You got close.
As you fucking posted, it just says Harlingen, Texas on there. We want to try and give like a quick synopsis of this movie, if we can.
That's difficult.
Yeah.
Possible.
Well,
It's very difficult.
It's not that difficult. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying like
like-
the surface level of what's going on.
Because
yes.
okay, well,
Very
sure.
surface level.
Yeah.
Just skimming the
In that
top
sense,
there,
yeah.
bro.
There's a kid named Donnie Darko who sleepwalks, and he ends up in a golf course. He sees this bunny named Frank.
Like a apparition of a dude like in a bunny costume.
Yeah, it's a fucking furry.
See, man, like
From
when
the
I
future.
first see the commercials, I thought it was like some kind of like monster or ghost, and I was like, that would be kind of cool.
Dude,
Yeah, right.
this is like a dark Wilford.
Nice. I remember
Wilfred.
seeing
Where the fuck
the
was
poster
that?
and thinking that
Was it Wilfred?
Wilfred.
The one
There
with
you go.
the dog?
Yeah.
and was it Elijah Wood?
It was Elijah
Yeah,
Wood,
in the
yeah.
U.S. version, yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, right. The
yeah.
original was
which I tried to watch, but it was like too close to the one I watched Elijah Wood, and I was like, I like this one anyway, so fuck this. Sorry.
I saw like a few
or whoever's in
episodes. I thought it was pretty funny, especially how like Wilfred tries to like fuck the other animal or like the other like stuffed toys and shit.
Yeah, dude. He's all up on them little stuff.
Yeah.
He's a furry banging inanimate furries.
Can I ask you a question? So, like, after he, this entity, Frank, tells him that
so,
the
and
war's
for some
going to end in
reason,
28
he just
days.
calls it first name was Frank because the entity just, which I don't understand the.
Doesn't he just tell him like his name's Frank or something? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
No.
Like, it's all like
That's just what
it's
Yeah,
like
that's the other
telepathic,
thing, like,
you know?
the
Jakey
scenes-
decided to call
the
this
scenes
cat.
aren't like real straightforward either, where it's like you're just talking to somebody. He does like these weird.
facial expressions.
I mean, sure.
I mean,
but
you
like,
don't-
it's
you don't-
like
you don't-
there's a lot of like nonverbal communication. is
Well,
what
yeah,
I-
like it
within
seems
the
almost like
scenes.
telepathic. Like he's just talking to this
Yeah,
thing.
just staring.
Yeah, because actually, and also once again, to maybe get to some of the depth of what maybe this movie was trying to shoot for was if it was kind of a telepathic link or whatever. Because I don't ever remember Frank going, "We should burn that guy's house down."
Yeah.
You know, like he was just always like in the distance or sitting right next to him and turns to him. But I don't remember a mouth moving, and I think that was kinda cool, which-
I think he does.
No, I don't remember him talking at all.
Like when he's in the mirror. No,
No, like it's
And
all just like
It's hard to remember
Jake
'cause again,
Gyllenhaal,
like-
just staring at this.
He's just
dude.
staring,
yeah,
staring,
and you
right?
just-
and it's like Jake Gyllenhaal's responding, but the
Fucking, like-
bunny's not saying anything. So I think you can like place in your imagination what he's responding to. you
yeah.
know?
So say he's just crazy.
yeah,
which that kind of gives you that kind of
they
note throughout the movie,
Right, yeah,
'Cause
that's the
he's-
other thing.
They think he's like a schizophrenic,
right, yeah.
So-
They think he's not.
What are you gonna say, like nuts or something? A nut ball, a nut bar.
He's one of those nutters
Yeah, sure.
from the madhouse, the loony bin. Should I keep going?
No,
If
it's
you
all right.
like.
It's-
I
it's
mean,
all right.
Oh,
I'm wondering how long you can play this out.
let's see.
I was gonna roll the dice, and whatever the number is, you have to think of that many right now. Like,
Get the 100-sided die
Oh,
out.
Jesus Christ! It's time for the challenge mode. It's not a bad idea though.
yeah,
I remember that.
Think about it. for
Have
next
like
time.
right. It's time to roll the sarcastic dice. See how much bullshit you can pull.
So whenever this jet engine, he goes back to his house. His jet engine has like crashed into his room.
Yeah.
This apparently, would you know this if you hadn't? Would I know this if I hadn't like gone through and like listened to other people talk about this? That this opens some kind of like vortex in time or something.
Dude, there's no way.
There's
that
no
that's,
like it doesn't.
evidence in the movie
No. That's
what I'm
whatsoever.
saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's like he wakes up from a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was like. So at best, you could argue he was clairvoyant in a certain sense. Like he just had like a dream, and it actually was of the future, but it hasn't happened yet. And I
Well,
don't know.
it's basically opened up some kind of alternate timeline, right?
That's what they're arguing, yeah, and there's credence to that because I saw some bullshit today where two of the characters that met in timeline B, we'll call the main line of the Donnie Darko film, we'll call that timeline B. Timeline A, where Donnie actually dies and the sister and the chick that he was going to bang later on timeline B met in timeline A,
Yeah.
and they had like this kind of like knowing
Like
look
deja vu or
shared
whatever
between
fucking
them. Like
sense?
it was like I think the Wikipedia
Was it the sister or the mom?
sister. It was Maggie Gyllenhaal, and
But at some point, didn't she like wave at the mom or something? Like when she's going by on her bike, and
I'm not sure. I don't
yeah,
remember.
like I think she like waves
See,
at the mom. or
This is
something.
why I should not have just read the Wikipedia because like we did watch it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Nah. Fuck that.
I should have done it for like little things like that because I know.
Right.
Yeah.
I
God
thought
damn
I thought it was the mom. Like she like waves at her and the mom waves back, and I mean there's no real question because I think this other little girl asked if she knows it and she's like no.
Yeah. But I think it was like Maggie talking to her for a little bit.
Well, yeah. So like we wouldn't know that this whole alternate timeline is happening unless as it progresses throughout the movie. Because if we want to go like,
it's not like there's a visual cue or some shit.
Like there's certain movies like let's just say Back to the Future 2 where they do that alternate timeline thing, but it's evident that happens.
Here's where they could have maybe done the fun
something
like time travel or alternate reality spin on the movie was with that fucking book that Donnie got handed like midway through the movie by that teacher was like the philosophy of time travel, whatever.
Yeah, written by Grandma
like, Death. But I was thinking about this fucking movie. It's like, you know,
fucking weird.
If they strung it out like another half hour, but that half hour is filled with Donnie reading into that stuff and then kind of like seeing and then like
that's when he starts noticing, you know.
Well, yeah, but he just gets told about time travel, but it would have been more compelling if he was like reading all this crazy stuff and then like he like, you know, opened his heart chakra and then all of a sudden he could like see the fucking like little time bubble things where people were going.
Yeah, and that's another thing like
that just sort of starts happening.
Yeah, he just it just manifests when they're watching a football
those little
game.
Bubbles and stuff like that. What are those supposed to be?
According to my Wikipedia level scholarship, it was showing where that animate body was going to be.
Right.
Were those like entities like guiding them or something?
No, it was like it's like a mini vortex.
Oh, okay, right.
Like kind of like showing like, and then they just like because they follow like lock and step like where these bubble things are going or whatever.
But he's the only one seeing them.
Correct. Yeah, and so I thought it'd been cool like if he just starts like getting his like mind kind of broken or unlocked by the fucking revelations in the book. Like, because that could be a cool director's cut thing, actually. Because you could just have, like...
See, I think we saw the director's cut.
I know, but we could have the director's recut. I don't know.
Director's double cut.
Yeah. The director's second thoughts.
Yeah.
Or third
Yeah,
thoughts.
because, like, in the version that we saw, like, there's little snippets of the excerpts from the book.
Right.
And from what I understood, the original theatrical release had none of that in there.
Oh, word.
And I was like, I barely know what's going on now. And without those excerpts, I would have been completely fucking lost.
So is it like the Justice League movie where they had like the like?
Yeah, we had to see the Snyder cut to
make sense of anything.
Sense of all of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about Batman vs Superman.
Oh,
because they had also had a director's cut where apparently they had a bunch of stuff and then.
See, I haven't seen that one.
I read that line where it's like you have to watch the director's cut because they added a bunch of stuff that actually like explains the storyline. And after watching it, I was like really fucking confused, and I was like, maybe I should just watch like the theatrical release. I think that would have probably been sufficient because
it kind of is. I don't necessarily know that
like,
they
what
need
are
to.
You guys doing?
What
here?
do you need to? What is there more that you need to see of to make sense of that fucking movie? It's pretty straightforward shit. I don't understand.
Martha.
Yeah. My mom's name is Martha.
Yeah.
Your mom's Martha? My mom's... We are Martha.
So, wait, sorry, spoiler alert, but it's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
But Batman and Superman stopped fighting.
No, I know. I've seen the movie. Yeah. No, I've seen the theatrical release. I haven't seen the director's cut. I'm aware of that stupid
Batman
gives... Didn't know if you'd seen it at
all.
Yeah,
it was fucking...
Because I know you don't really fuck with superhero movies, so like...
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I do, yeah. I watch all of them.
But you're burned out. You just haven't like gone on like full strike like I have. Like...
Oh, watching superhero movies?
Yeah.
No, I mean, just the most recent ones. I mean, I fucking watched everything up until this point. Like, whatever phase ended with Infinity War, Endgame, and all that. Like,
Word.
I saw like those movies like twice in the theater.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think I went with you.
I love I watched Spider-Man movies. I watched all those.
That's surprising.
The most recent ones I haven't bothered watching. Like, I kind of like stopped watching. There's certain ones, if they're more appealing, I will watch. But Spider-Man, I will continue to watch. I saw Venom.
I will watch anything Spider-Man related. Yeah.
Because it's good.
Well.
But anyways, continuing on with the movie, there's another
which
timeline.
Movie we brought up like 4.
Okay, well, the one that we're supposed to be talking about. We want to know. We went on a little alternate.
But I haven't seen Justice League.
Oh.
Nah, I have. I just haven't seen the Snyder Cut. Anyway,
I've seen that one. So. You have to, right?
Yep, a couple times. It's
yeah.
great.
But back to Donnie Darko. So this movie is supposed to be about time travel, but
They don't really.
But then once again, it's all from all of this outside opinion. People just spout off some bullshit, and then people go, "Oh, that makes sense. I'll run with it." As far as like, this is actually an alternate timeline or whatever. Because my thing is like, this could just be a fucking dream.
Yeah.
You
See,
know?
I thought that's basically what it was gonna be.
Right.
I mean, because this 28 days that are supposed to. This is supposed to basically take place. We meet all these different characters that apparently are intentionally playing a certain role in this alternate timeline. Like they all have their parts. Again, you wouldn't know that if you didn't. I didn't go back and like quote unquote research any of this shit. But I mean, did I mention that Drew Barrymore annoyed me as a teacher? I didn't believe that for a second.
Well, I mean,
I don't remember that, and I still can't believe.
I don't
it.
know if I could stomach or take seriously any English teacher that had a lisp. Think how many essays are in literature.
Oh.
Ooh.
What do we think
Yeah.
of this class? You're like, I love you, Drew Barrymore. Like, please don't fucking.
I
come
do
after
too,
us.
but I mean, like,
Don't do
I didn't
that.
believe that
Yeah.
her
I'll
approach
take
to
you to
teaching.
Charlie's Angel. I'll take you.
Her
like,
approach to teaching was like,
being scared of ET, but yeah, the teaching stuff. It's like I am this progressive, avant-garde teacher, and I'm trying to teach the students that this is a terrible fucking thing to do. Like once again, Drew, we love you.
Jesus Christ.
But
I'm just imagining how like it'd need like a spit guard or something like that.
But yeah,
sitting
but
in
like
the
she's
front
just,
row.
but she's like the cool hip teacher showing these kids like what's up with literature that she knows that the fucking
I'm surprised she didn't. That wasn't the scene where she rapped
Books
something.
got words. Oh fuck!
that was on day 29.
Oh yeah.
It was a memorial for Donnie.
Oh yeah. That would have been great.
Drew
I'm
Barrymore.
pretty sure that's in part 2. I don't know if that's true or not. But
Oh, haven't either of you guys seen the sequel?
no,
No.
and I'm not gonna.
But it also wasn't like
I don't either.
endorsed by
Yeah.
like the
Wasn't it?
writer. Or
yeah.
anybody.
I thought it had like the same people and everything or whatever.
No, I don't
No?
think so. I think it's like a whole different crew of people.
Yeah, I think somebody lost a bet. They're like, they did some incredible
Fuck,
inhuman
we've got to make
feats
another one.
just to get like the chance to do like a Donnie Darko 2 movie.
I
but
think
was
it's
just like inspired by the untrue events of Donnie Darko. Like
I think it's about the sister.
It is. Yeah.
As much as I know about that,
But I mean-
shit,
But evidently
who cares?
Yeah. Exactly.
they're kind of talking about, like, at least the director in recent years has talked about, like, and you can Wikipedia these guys, but no, listen to us. We're funnier than Wikipedia.
Yep.
Unless you find the truth on Wikipedia, and then that shit gets scary.
Unless you're one of those true fans, then get on Wikipedia and fix that shit because it fucking sucks.
Well, no, because it'd be just more.
They still haven't
opinion.
explained it worth of shit as far as like the real plot.
But
goes.
evidently, they're thinking
time
about
travel.
trying to like do another, like a proper
there.
Donnie Darko sequel,
Right.
like where
Yeah,
apparently like the writer's pretty jazzed because he talked to some
really.
other director who thought that, and I can't remember the fuck. I probably should have remembered
It's
this.
gonna
Written it
be
down.
like a
But
soft.
some other well-known director apparently loves this fucking movie, and it kind of like made the writer go, "Oh well, I think there's a lot of exciting things that happen with this franchise," and so we'll get like alternate timeline. So timeline F, where Jake Gyllenhaal is as old as he is now, and is Donnie as a failure. Like he's fucking working as a short order cook at Waffle House. And
Just
I
constantly
want it to
seeing those
be.
fucking
I
things
want this
still
to
coming
be.
out.
it's out of Tennessee.
I want
seeing,
this.
like, oh, here comes that hobo trying to stab me again. People think he's a superhero because of it, and
I was.
maybe that's how he uses his power, because he can see where people are going to be, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna snatch that purse? Not if I can stop you." See, Donnie can use his powers for good.
Okay, I think I kind of like your premise a little. I was trying to find some way to fold it into what I was going for because I was thinking it would be like.
Too bad, I'm a better writer.
Well, I'm still
imaginative.
thinking about. I don't know. I was thinking if it could have been directed by Robert Rodriguez. I don't know. It would have been funny if it was like instead of.
Nah, dude, I want to get J.J.
I want it to be
Abrams.
like-
You just have like weird light beams.
I want it to
hitting you
be
in the
like
face, and
we're
you're,
watching fucking
blinded in the
Planet
movie
Terror
theater.
and shit or whatever, where the fucking
Or Michael Bay with a bunch of explosions. Like, think how that fucking jet engine.
Okay,
would've
I'd
worked
go
with
for
Michael
that.
Bay.
I'd go for that. But the thing is that like Robert Rodriguez would give me the rated R.
This was
Bay
rated
is-
R movie.
Well, exactly. But if you're gonna Michael Bay it up, like he's gonna knock that down to like PG-13.
No,
or
I
some
mean-
No, you say
PG
fuck a
bullshit.
bunch.
Yeah. Then Will Smith comes out.
Eh.
Then Nick Cage comes out driving a fast car.
All right, you're getting me there.
And
but-
then The Rock is leaping towards some sort of precipice and grabbing onto it one-armedly.
Or like another jet engine's coming and he like knocks it out of the way. Or something.
Right, yeah.
Nah, dude,
there
that's
we go.
Sylvester Stallone coming in with a sweet sidekick.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
jumping out of a helicopter.
Oh,
like,
Jesus
ding.
Christ! The fucking Expendables or some
You know
shit.
they're gonna-
you know-
I thought you were gonna say Vin Diesel. Are you gonna be like, "Tell about family"?
You know they're gonna have to like
Knock it all
CGI
away
his
or
like
some
leg
shit.
kick because you know he can't raise his leg anymore. Come on, like how old is he right now? He's like fucking 80 years old now.
Yeah, like something like that.
His fucking muscles are all skinny and
800.
wrinkly and stuff like that. Like
Oh,
stretch marks are
he
sagging.
probably has like Botox muscles or some shit.
anyways.
There's no sag. Smooth as eggs.
And then Bruce Willis just walking down a hallway going, ow.
So
I'm still sticking to my Planet Terror, Robert Rodriguez idea. I'm saying. All right.
What if we gave this premise of a movie to an actual like high concept like director and they make it like really fucking weird?
No, we don't want to do any kind of work for them.
I'll
unless-
contact my connections.
Yeah,
We'll give it to Rob Zombie.
Right.
You know,
Definitely be
You
rated.
know,
You'd be
I'm
like-
surprised. Like, I'm pretty sure like Rob Zombie seems like he would do something like Donnie Darko reboot or some shit like that.
Oh, sure.
Maybe.
I mean, he's about to make the monsters into violent killers again. So
If we're lucky.
Yeah. And according to Roland, he's gonna do the soundtrack. So it's gonna be like all like Rob Zombie
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I'm trying to imagine him doing the.
well, they're gonna have to
the
because
intro
they've already
for the
because Roy
monsters.
may not have seen, but
Got
they
it.
have. And so now we're in Cinekuest news.
Right.
mode.
I love Rob Zombie's covers. I'll say
But
that about him. He does cool shit.
Has released or maybe Rob Zombie did it directly, but they released like some stuff
Oh.
from that episode of the Munsters where Herman goes racing.
What
So you got
about
like
it?
the leather jacket and stuff, and then Dragula was the name of the car that Grandpa fucking
Yeah.
rocked.
Yeah, the Dragula.
Oh, that was the actual name of the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I've forgotten about that actually.
Yeah,
That's-
dude.
That was cool shit.
Okay.
I
And
always
then
thought
what
that was
the
really
hit
cool.
single from fucking Rob Zombie?
Yeah, Dracula.
Dragula, yeah. And so like he's been into this shit for a while. So that's why I feel like really happy. Like no matter what direction he takes it,
Yeah,
I'm hoping he turns into fucking killers. Just because I think that'd be spicy.
I've talked to people that aren't even fans of him, and like they're actually pretty excited when I'm just like, look, he's fucking doing the monsters, and I'm like, no shit, okay,
Well, we'll see how it comes out.
yeah. We'll see.
What aspects of time travel are in this movie?
He gets proffered a book from his teacher who says he wants to go into discussions of time travel, but he doesn't want to be fired.
Right?
But
Yeah,
he gives
that's
Donnie
it's kind
that
of a
fucking
weird
book
moment.
of the philosophy of time travel.
You know, when I was watching this movie, it was late at night, and I was like, I think it was like maybe like 40 minutes in or something. I was like, where the fuck is the time travel in this movie?
Yeah.
And then when he hands him the book, I was like, man, is that it? Like,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
a
a
book that says
literal-
time travel.
It's a literal
It is.
fucking plot device.
It is because
yeah.
I really kind of going to go 12 monkeys on this a little bit,
Yeah.
where I don't think this movie is about time travel at all. It just involves a book with time travel in there, but
Called the philosophy of time travel.
because you take this movie on surface level, even with some of the interpretations where you open up like timeline B or sorry A in my schema.
But I mean, even talking about that is
So-
not even surface level. You still have to go like another layer under. Because I mean, like you wouldn't know that
right
at any point.
Yeah, because you just go, because my thing is like you take the movie at base and you think even
You
just
can't.
like try to like make sense of like
This isn't
why
one
do you
of
have this
those
like
movies.
loop that occurs?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fucking dream.
Yeah,
Or-
it's all in his head. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, 'cause
And
he's-
like
he's-
and actually
he's,
ideally
schizophrenic.
it'd be
Right. He's Frank.
he is the version that gets fucking crashed on by the plane, and him laughing at the end of the movie, it's him doing the hallucination of what he thinks timeline B was like.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
So-
heard many explanations, and
Yeah.
people think
And
like it's just
I
like a
don't think
choose your.
I've read that. It's just I was thinking like just base level if you're
So-
trying to like make this like
Well,
an
see,
intelligent
like-
film, but it doesn't involve time travel.
I think this movie tries to like do this whole choose your own adventure kind of thing, depending on who's watching it. So you can determine what all this really means according to about time travel. Is it him like schizophrenia taking hold and he's like hallucinating? Is it just a dream?
Dude.
Did he even really die?
Yeah,
the first
like,
time? Like
there's probably like timeline C where you
which
got-
timeline are you choosing to
you
go
have a
through?
Jake Gyllenhaal all like aged out. He's taking a doze and he's imagining all of this stuff as he's chasing the dragon, you know, like
Sitting in that opium den or whatever, surrounded by.
and then you have timeline F that
By
we talked
who's-
about where, you know, he's fucking short of a fry cook at Pancake House and then or Waffle
So-
House and he's able to like stop crime. Which I like that movie. We should write that.
I was trying to think of a way to like describe this movie to myself earlier, or as we're going along here. It just sort of occurred to me that I don't know necessarily about this idea, but like again, it came out of it was birthed from a bad joke to begin with. So I was thinking that this movie is kind of like if Stephen King tried to turn The Langoliers into like an indie film or some shit.
Well, that's a
Someone-
reference two of y'all get.
And that's why I'm looking at Ray when I say this, because
Well, I've heard.
you
need to dumb
haven't
down these
seen-
fucking horror references.
Ray,
you
you
know,
can
like,
explain it.
What's a
So
book?
like the
How does this relate to
Langoliers,
child's
it's a
play?
book. That's a joke. Jesus,
I've seen that.
it's a book.
It's not a book.
Fucking asshole. Is
what
it the Langoliers that is the story where they're sort of stuck in a time loop?
Yeah.
Okay, so unlike that one where they're obviously stuck in the loop, I guess I was thinking of what would be the odds if this was sort of the same sort of situation. It wasn't necessarily like an alternate dimension or an apocalypse fucking moment. I was wondering if maybe it was just like a single time loop that was just being played out, and once he gets to the end and he realizes what is supposed to actually happen, he fucking dies. That's just him like, resetting it so, to where it's supposed to be, and the movie's fucking over at that point.
I was thinking that the world ending was just foretelling him dying.
There's
Yeah, like your world.
Yeah,
world
there's
ending. Yeah.
there's no real obvious like time travel.
Well, and also like Donnie is incredibly
elements.
selfish, so it would make sense that
Yeah,
his
he is kind of a prick.
hallucination as of Frank would be like the world is ending because
So-
if he's not in it, then what does he fucking care?
Right.
He's a little smart ass.
aside
besting
from
teachers left and
aside
right.
from those stupid little blubbles, like there's really nothing out of.
No, there's the bubbles, and then the fucking. But I think those bubbles. We're gonna get deep in this little thought. I think the bubbles are actually just part of his hallucination, where he's starting to believe this time travel stuff that you can see the vortexes or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
But it's all predicated on, this is the 300th Sunday that I've experienced college football on or NFL football on, and everyone kind of like around this time, Jane goes to the fridge and Dad goes for a beer, and so it's just based off of all these like bodily habits and practices that the people around him in his little shithole town and in his like social circle have always maintained. And so he's just like kind of like projected like, about time he goes for a piss. And so where's the bubble go? Like bathroom. And the guy just happens to follow it.
He's just a really good guesser
Well, I mean, I don't
from
know.
watching these guys and their habits.
I don't know. I drink 2 beers and I go pee every 4
Right.
minutes. You
Yeah.
can predict like, oh, he's going to cross his legs again. Like, he's going to be gone. And you guys know the layout of this house a little bit. So it's like, okay, then he's going to flow this way with his little bubble and go around and make bubbles in the toilet and come back.
I mean, this is again like going to your
does that
idea.
Make sense, like at all? Like,
I mean, sure.
know.
Like,
I personally, I'm not gonna lie. And just
I'd say yes.
Kind of doesn't to me.
Only in the
or it's just part of his like psychosis or his like dreamscape, but it's all predicated on like, oh, everyone does these certain movements in these social settings.
But I mean, it's just,
you're
it's
talking
him,
about like him just getting lucky and guessing and knowing everyone's habits,
or he just fixes it in his brain because he goes, oh. The bubble's just starting. I think they're going to go to the shitter,
and then he just
they're
makes
actually
it
going to the sink, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Ooh, sink!"
It fucking curves around and shit. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just
I couldn't say.
trying to get some credit where this is like a dream
of that
or like
idea.
a death sequence for this guy.
Yeah. You're going full fucking Jacob's Ladder with this bullshit. Yeah, or like what we're watching is not actually what's actually happening in the end, and in the end you get like an actual glimpse.
It's real to him.
Yes, it is. But I don't mean relatively. What's relatively happening? I mean like what's I guess supposed to be happening in the plot, right? As far as like what's going on with the fucking accident, with the world ending, that kind of shit. And in the same sense of Jacob's Ladder or whatever, you're not actually shown like I guess the real plot or the real story until the end. You know, when he fucking dies. And I'm talking about Donnie Darko, not Jacob's Ladder. Even though the same thing happens there as well. And that was the scene I was sort of thinking of comparing this to, where you're just taking on.
Can't say.
Oh man, you should. It's a good movie. It's actually a really good movie.
I mean, it's just.
It's not a horror movie,
talk to
though.
Janelle later and she'll be like, how have you not seen that?
It's
and
weird.
We'll add to the list of like ridiculous movies that are amazing, but neither of us have happened to see. And the other one goes, what the fuck, dude?
Jacob's Ladder has some weird horror elements in there, and like it's actually if you want to go with the idea of like Donnie Darko having these like extended hallucinations. You'd probably want to check that one out because it goes into a lot of those sorts of ideas and stuff. But in the same sense of Darko, where like you're not given the context, you're gonna see it and then you'll understand as it goes along. Unlike Donnie Darko, which doesn't fucking make any goddamn sense the more you see it.
Well, I would like to go into the alleged book that they talk about in the movie. I was
gonna ask you if.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah, send it on Messenger.
It's called The Philosophy of Time Travel. And of course, this is a fictional book, not in reality.
This isn't real?
Isn't that what they want you to think?
Well, it's not a real physical copy. It's just a book mentioned in, I don't know if like the actual, see, I was trying to figure out if they actually like made this book since the movie.
A physical? You mean?
Yeah, it was a physical copy that someone could purchase.
Just some prop.
It's not that good of an augmented reality game, man.
Okay, so
there's not enough writers in the world to unfuck this plot.
Well, regarding this book or this fictional thing here.
Okay, so yeah,
it puts all the characters in their particular position in the timeline in this movie. Again, you would not know this, like the in-depth,
right?
How in-depth they're trying to go.
Glance, right?
Even first or second, like you're not gonna, you wouldn't make any of this shit out. I mean, you would literally have to like.
You got to look it up.
Research you have to look at.
Yeah, you really have to look it up.
Wikipedia's. You got to Google it because at base, because swinging back just to our, it was your first time watching it.
Yeah.
But it was like my second, maybe third time watching it, and I remember you messaging like the night before. We decided to watch it here. You said like I have no idea what's going on in this movie or something like that, and. So that kind of poisoned my revisits, but I think I did message like the group and like
you didn't go in there on a mission or whatever. Like, all right, time to figure this bitch out. Nope.
I kind of wanted to because it's like because I remember just being like a weird movie. It didn't make a lot of sense. That's about all I remembered, and just like kind of like,
there it is,
characters.
You're done.
Yeah, and so. My second viewing or third, whatever view it was like, all right, let's see if, in the context of all the weird shit I've been reading, because I had to like read some stuff on time travel. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's approach this movie now
Right.
and see if anything clicks. And Shrev was like, I've seen it before. And then I was like, I don't know what's happening in this movie.
Makes even
Like,
less sense with
So
context.
I would like to read some of these chapters, and then we can kind of put in context with the movie. Okay, because
I'm liking this.
okay, so we have chapter 1, the tangent universe. It says the primary universe is fraught with great peril. War, plague, famine, and natural disaster are common. Death comes to us all. The fourth dimension of time is a stable construct, though it is not impenetrable. Incidents when the fabric of the fourth dimension becomes corrupted are incredibly rare. If a tangent universe occurs, it will be highly unstable, sustaining itself for no longer than several weeks, which I'm assuming is the 28 days.
Curious? Yeah.
Eventually, it will collapse upon itself, forming a black hole within the primary universe capable of destroying all existence, which is Frank's
That
warning
fucking
him.
dark universe bullshit.
Yeah, Frank letting him know that if Donnie doesn't like stabilize this whole thing,
Yeah.
it's basically there's a black hole that's gonna form and pretty much destroy the entire universe.
Okay, I'd love to read chapter 2.
Yes, please go ahead.
Because
Makes
this,
more sense than the movie, but
goes, wait, what? Water and metal are the key elements of time travel.
Huh?
Water is the barrier element for the construction of time portals used as gateways between universes as the tangent unit vortex. And then it closes by saying, metal is the transitional element for the construction of artifact vessels. Okay.
Of course.
So we haven't heard what artifact vessels are yet, but
It's obvious.
what it's Donnie? Whole bunch of fucking metal from that fucking engine crashing into his fucking bedroom. Yeah. So apparently this threw him out of time, but during his little time travel or tangential universe experience, he's handed a book on the very subject. Like, this is just telling me it's a dream.
Yeah.
Like, of course, all this stuff would like play out. Like,
Well, maybe that's
you
what
get to fucking fuck up your school. You get to burn a guy's house down and get him arrested for child
But
porn.
you think that? I mean, it's kind of hard for me to believe that was the intention of the person writing this movie, because from my understanding, he came up with the idea of like this engine falling into someone's.
Yeah, and then that was it. Yeah,
He built
and then he wrote the story
where
around
do we
it.
go from here?
It's like,
Yeah.
So
how is that a good fucking
This
idea?
says it goes from chapter 2 to chapter 4. The artifact and the living. Roland, you want to read that?
Yeah, sure. When a tangent universe occurs,
Shut
the fuck up. Living nearest to the vortex will find themselves at the epicenter of a dangerous new world. Artifacts provide the first sign that a tangent universe has occurred. If an artifact occurs, the living will retrieve it with great interest and curiosity. Artifacts are formed from metal, such as an arrowhead from an ancient Mayan civilization.
They didn't have metal.
What?
And the metals they had, like, you're not
my
making
God.
fucking arrowheads out of them, you fucking goons.
Wow.
See, it's a good thing you got it here. You can
Yeah.
direct that.
They used,
Obsidian.
yeah.
Obsidian was the shit.
They didn't have, there was not,
And Obsidian's better than fucking
this
steel.
was not the fucking Iron Age, all right? Like, it was, anyways. Or a metal sword from medieval
They
Europe.
made pretty metal, not like
Right.
get shit done metal.
Useful stuff. No, that's what
Unless
the
I'm
sharp
mistaken,
rocks are
there's
for.
some,
Not
like-
death metal, not thrash metal.
Exactly.
Continue.
Speed metal,
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, I know.
pirate metal,
Yes.
circus metal, clown metal.
Okay,
Anyway.
this is not one of those times we're going to roll a D100 and see like, metal pipes.
Please continue.
Not with the list you were going to say.
I was about to. God damn it! I was fine. Anyways,
And just do metal and then
Viking metal. If an artifact occurs, the living will retrieve it with great interest and curiosity. Artifacts are formed from metal. Metal sword from a metal sword from medieval Europe. Okay. So artifacts returned to the primary universe are often linked to religious iconography, as their appearance on Earth seems to
Jake
defy
was Jesus.
a logical explanation.
And it says divine intervention is deemed the only logical conclusion for the appearance of that artifact. But what is the artifact?
Like,
is it the engine?
I think it's the engine.
The engine still? We're talking about the engine?
Well, no. Like, oh no, I think it's because metal acts as like the conduit.
So here's where I get confused, man, because
this is where you get confused. This is where you get confused.
Wow, you've understood this whole thing up until
Holy shit, man! You're fucking
no,
smarter
I'm
than
just
I thought.
I'm just ignoring everything that you guys are saying because I don't care.
Tell us. Come on.
Like this fucking thing. All right, look.
What you got? No,
I don't know now.
inform us. We're genuinely
I kind of
curious.
want you guys to go fuck yourselves now. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I'm sorry. You hold the answer? You're like playing gatekeeper over here?
Yeah.
Fuck you, don't have shit. You don't have shit.
No, it wasn't. I not probably related to what you asked. Was we're talking
So he
about.
doesn't have shit. Okay, it's
So when you're
it's the
when
whole
you're
tangential conversation verse.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
So
what it
let's
is.
talk about what's important again. For me,
Donnie Darko.
no.
So go.
The when they're talking about artifacts,
Yeah.
right? At first, I thought it was a thing, like you were saying, like
But no.
the fucking.
I think like Frank is the
Engine.
artifact. Is that where you're going with this?
No. So when they describe the artifact, it says here they provide the first sign that a tangent universe has occurred, and then right following, if an artifact occurs, like it's no longer an object, it's an event. So like when you have an artifact, like a visual glitch in your computer, sort of
Yes.
thing. Like that's what I'm sort of wondering if it's sort of referring to, like an artifact within the dimension. So it's like
Mr.
Darko.
Mr. Gates, is this accurate? As I speak to my
So Darko wasn't supposed to get out of the fucking bed, right?
Right.
And him doing that caused I guess like a fucking glitch.
I know you have a money nap right now, but we
Fucking
need to
glitch in
hear
the
about,
matrix
like,
or whatever, right?
this
And
works.
you have like that artifact event.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm sort of trying to understand if it's both. If it's an object that's like either left behind or produced as a result of the artifacting event, or if it's just like that.
You know,
that
none of these fucking Donnie Darko nerds that have written all this shit online about how Donnie Darko's dope and like all these like things, they have not investigated this as in depth as we have. Like we're asking the hard questions.
So, anyways, I just was trying to figure out how they're describing it here in this fucking text.
Well, yeah,
And,
that's the
I
whole
came
point,
away
man.
with two different confusing as fuck.
No, what I think this book is, it's that, you know, the whole
Explanations.
thing, if you get enough chimpanzees on a typewriter, you get Shakespeare. I think that's what
Yeah,
they're working with. But they were like,
I
let's go for
mean-
stupid shit.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's just continue on and see if we can make sense of any more of this. Maybe the rest of it will put other stuff into context.
Okay, host. Pull us through.
So, chapter 6, the living receiver. The living receiver is chosen to guide the artifact into position for its journey back to the primary universe.
This is Frank.
No one knows how or why the receiver will be chosen. The receiver is often blessed with a fourth dimensional powers.
With a, no, you were reading it right. The living receiver is often blessed with a fourth dimensional powers.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
Well, I corrected it in my own
It's
head.
this
okay.
document. Yeah. But I was like, no, Ray, no, you're right.
Okay.
This is fucked up. Like,
Okay. These include increased strength, telekinesis, mind control, and the ability to conjure fire and water.
What in the fuck?
The living receiver is often tormented by terrifying dreams, visions, and auditory hallucinations during his time with the tangent universe. And these surrounding the living receiver, known as the manipulated, will fear him and try to destroy him. Now, obviously, Donnie Darko is the living receiver. But I don't understand where all
he's
this
not
stuff is.
fucking ripping phone books in half. He's not throwing
no
shit
strength,
across
yeah.
the room with his mind. Like,
Yeah.
bullshit. This is bullshit.
With mind control? Like, what did he
But
do?
what is he? What is he
I have
getting?
no idea
Because he
what
just
any of this is
he just
fucking
commits
coming
fucking
from now.
crimes.
Is he like involuntarily manipulating people around him to kind of? move
Is he
this
trying to
thing
get
along?
himself kicked out of school? Is that? I'm too smart for school, but the only way they'll let me free from this prison is if they think I'm retarded or something.
So let's go with chapter 7, the manipulated living. The manipulated living are often the close friends and neighbors of the living receiver. They are prone to irrational, bizarre, and often violent behavior. And this is the unfortunate result of their task, which is to assist the living receiver in returning the artifact to the primary universe. The manipulated living will do anything to save themselves from oblivion. Now, the artifact is the engine, right? Is that what it is? Like, because it has to go back into its original state.
I think, in the sense that Roland's talking about, like, kind of like a visual glitch being an artifact, like maybe the engine was the artifact, but it was like the remembering on timeline A that the shit actually came through the fucking roof and hit you.
Right.
And in timeline B, it hasn't happened yet. So maybe the event, like, so it's in a dream state or whatever, where, you know, he wakes up and it's like, oh, that shit came through. So maybe that's the artifact where it's like something slipped through. So it's a visual glitch because it's something that happened in timeline A that hasn't happened in timeline B yet, but it's still always going to happen, but in a different sequence of events. Holy shit, I'm getting really confused with this. It was making sense for a little while.
Dan, you want to go to chapter 9?
Go ahead. Before you do that, so like I was just trying to again make some fucking sense. Yeah, no, not necessarily about the artifacts, but like what they're talking about here, the assist the living receiver in returning the artifact to the primary universe. And how the living receiver's job is to guide the universe back on track, sort of thing.
Right, but then
this is sort of why I was thinking about if it's possible that this isn't time travel so much as it is a loop, because if they're talking about like the tangential universe falling the fuck apart, if it's not back on track, then wouldn't that suggest then that it loops back into the normal fucking timeline and goes from there?
I think that there's a ton of timelines going on.
Well, sure.
It's just,
in general,
it's just
like, why not?
But it's just in this instance of.
So you're saying
timey-wimey alt-universe bullshit that is still tied into the same universe. Donnie Darko's experience as one of the enlightened or whatever that can experience this bullshit.
Sure.
He's like a simple case of it. I mean, like, think how fucking cool it is if you had like 8 of these timelines going on. You wake up from different dreams and stuff. There's different outcomes and shit. Like, you're a sheriff and it actually happens, but you don't know what happens. But you wake up like reaching for the gun under your pillow, like, like, that isn't there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, sure. That sounds exciting. I guess.
Oh, we're gonna write a whole chain of fucking Donnie Darko, fucking just change it to like Bonnie or Connie Carco.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be better than any of that bullshit, anyways.
You want to read the chapter 9?
Chapter 9. Can't spell insurance for shit. Trap.
See, I was kind of curious. Is that insurance or it's supposed to be insurance? What's insurance? It's to insure something. Is that really a word? I don't know. I've never heard it before.
No, it's not.
To insure.
When you insure something is
to insure, but not to insure.
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying. No.
Okay, continue.
The manipulated dead will set an insurance trap. Again, this is not insurance. This is N.
With an E.
With an E, which is I don't think that's a word. The living receiver must ensure the fate of all mankind.
Oh, so actually, again, it's the same shit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Ensure is to make something sure, certain, or safe.
Well, yeah. Ensure is a word, but insurance.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I'm going to look that up.
I know assurance.
Well, that's another thing.
Insurance.
Assurance is to... Right, exactly. Those are all words. Now, this one, not so much. Insurance is that thing everyone hates. To insure is to guarantee.
Well, let's just go on to the manipulated dead.
So chapter 10, the manipulated
apparently it's like one of those English things where it's like,
favor and color.
However you feel like.
There's no difference.
Yeah, all right. So chapter 10, the manipulated dead.
Yes.
The manipulated dead are more powerful than the living receiver. If a person dies within the tangent dimension, they are able to contact the living receiver through the fourth dimensional construct.
Is it Frank?
The fourth dimensional construct is made of water. Manipulated dead will manipulate the living receiver using the fourth dimensional construct. See Appendix A and B. The manipulated dead will often set an insurance trap for the living receiver to ensure that the artifact is returned safely to the primary universe. If the insurance trap is successful, the living receiver is left with no choice but to use his fourth dimensional power to send the artifact back in time into the primary universe before the black hole collapses upon itself.
Heavy.
So they like blackmail him? I don't know.
I don't.
This
think
is
it's-
all
I don't think
really
it's blackmail
fucking
necessarily.
strange.
I think in the context of the movie, you gotta look at the folks that do die. Right, which is the girl, the Frank. He shoots him in the fucking face.
Dude, and okay, now that we were at some of this nonsense, I scrolled a little further down. I'm not sure if you did, Ray.
No,
But they know living receiver, Donnie Darko.
but that was like obvious though.
Well, yeah, but manipulated dead, Frank and Gretchen, as you said. Manipulated living, and it's the rest of
Everybody
the
else.
fucking
Everybody
cast.
else.
Well, I'm just going by manipulated dead. I'm just saying who dies in the movie. That's
Yeah.
what's obviously. So I mean, I know it's them two. Was there anybody else? Obviously not, since we looked
No.
at the notes.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't know how them dying
Right.
is playing into this whole saving the world from the black hole that he has to get the engine to collapse on him for, because he has to put the artifact, which I'm assuming is the engine, back into the original timeline.
But then, like, how does
What?
it happen if he's a corpse? Like, is he going to rise 3 days later and push it back into the tornado and go back to your time? I don't know. And die again?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I don't know, Ray. I don't know if you're building a fantasy world of like how
Dude, I don't
like
fucking know what's going
timeline
on.
E is gonna work. Or
I don't know what's going on, man. So you want to read chapter 12, Daniel?
Yeah, sure.
The last one.
When the manipulated awaken from their journey into the tangent universe, they are often haunted by the experience in their dreams. Many of them will not remember. Those who do remember the journey are often overcome with profound remorse for the regretful actions buried within their dreams, the only physical evidence buried within the artifact itself, all that remains from the lost world. Ugh. Ancient myth tells us that. Oh, God damn it. All right, so
Come on.
ancient myth tells us of the Mayan warrior killed by an arrowhead that had fallen from a cliff.
The fuck?
Where there was no army, no enemy to be found.
Is this
We are told
supposed
with a medieval knife, mysteriously impaled by a sword he had not yet built. We are told that these things occur for a reason.
Where does any of that
Fuck
shit come
this.
from? Ancient myths tell us of the Mayan
no,
warrior killed by an
fuck
arrowhead
this.
that had fallen from a cliff. That sounds like that stupid story where they were talking about how like a penny thrown off a fucking skyscraper can
Yeah.
smash into your
But
skull
now
or
they're talking
some
about
stupid
time. It's
shit.
like, oh, you know,
This
all of a
is an
sudden this
arrowhead.
sword pops through
Is
the.
there a reason they
It
chose
shoots
like a
out of
Mayan
his ass.
civilization?
I
to
don't
talk about this
know.
shit?
I don't know.
I think it was like
that doesn't
because-
make any sense.
They were morons.
Yeah. You're right. Mystery solved. You figured it out. That's it. Yep.
What sounds exotic?
Yeah, right.
Aztecs. Oh, too much blood. How about the Romans? Oh, great roads and plumbing. Oh, never mind. Mayans.
Oh,
Fuck those.
man.
Yeah, they must have. Yeah.
So after going through this little fake book, like it felt like it's all just fluff. Like to
This
me,
is-
like it's nonsense. Like it's all just
This is
nonsense.
jerking off
Yeah.
people that want to understand this movie.
Yeah,
And
man.
if you paid
And still
$60
can't fucking
for
do it,
the fucking
'cause,
Blu-ray edition of this, it comes in a nice little box. They'll
Everything
give you
starts to make
this
sense.
in text.
Everything in this starts to make sense, and then you start to think about it.
I feel like
Just-
folks are just focusing on like, wow, Mayan civilization, arrowheads. Wow, dude.
Whoa, man! Like,
man.
Wow, that's
so,
deep.
like,
That's deep.
Oh wow, the
Mayan
myths.
calendar 2012.
Myths.
What?
do you think that
3 Years of
Mayans time
Darkness?
traveled to this time to avoid 2012?
Right.
Jesus Christ. Let's go to again back to the superficial parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Was there any like I personally thought the acting was kind of like me, like This movie feels like a 90s movie. It's supposed to take place in 88 during this whole presidential run. All I thought was like, this seems like late 90s nonsense because they all look like fucking grunge era people.
Yeah.
None of them look like they're from the 80s.
Everybody has
nobody looks like they're from the 80s.
Stonewashed jeans and shit.
It's like,
I'm like, what did the wardrobe people, what were they thinking when they did this? Because not again, none of these people look like they're from the 80s.
I'm thinking that the best actors in this movie were.
I won't fault Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he did pretty good.
No, he's a good actor. I don't really like him in this movie.
This is the youngest I've ever seen Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie.
I think this might have been his breakout, but I don't know. But
I don't know how well I dealt with him as a younger person. Like I said, I've seen him in like other movies where he's like plays an adult,
right?
Where he's supposed to play a kid, and that goth-looking fucking emo. The features that he has to him kind of annoyed me a little bit. And then you have Maggie Gyllenhaal in there, his sister.
Who does nothing in this movie somehow. Just like, Jake's like, if you want me, you need to cast my sister. Do we need her lines? Not really. It's a deal. And she's billed as a star in this movie, and she says like 6 sentences and kind of is around.
Good for you.
But you know, like whenever they're at the dinner table and they're kind of just like going at each other. I mean, I have no brothers and sisters, so I was like, is this the way like they talk to each other?
But what did your imaginary friend have to say at dinner?
Nothing. Stayed quiet like I was. We're both quiet.
Were you the frog kid? Were you Froggy?
Oh no, I wasn't. I don't know. I thought the acting was kind of like very kind of not even.
But the two I'll give it for is the gal who played that like fundamentalist idiot teacher.
Okay.
That tried to get the book banned. Because I thought that like she did a good role, like, or a good job in portraying like the completely contrived outrage that like,
I could see
Chipper
that, yeah.
Gore and all those fuckers had against like rock and roll and video games and stuff as far as approaching literature from that angle. So I thought that was kind of like, because all the arguments are bullshit and but then and I think that the Swades did a good job. Like, even though it was like kind of like a oh, that's a left turn for like what he got caught on in the movie on the CP, but playing like kind of like this kind of shady motivational speaker dude, I thought he was like, he really like encapsulated that like kind of like charlatan who he knows he's in on the game, but even his closest advocates don't see like,
including that lady.
Yeah. Because she fucking, said, fuck this amazing memory with my daughter. I'm going to go to court and defend this guy's honor potentially.
Yeah.
But this fucking movie,
I will say like, I guess for the stars themselves, like I just didn't really there was nothing that amazed me about this movie. Like the acting, the story, like
there really isn't anything that stands out.
I feel like there was too much left out, and the fact that if I have to go back and research something that's even nonsense just to understand whatever they're trying to say, like I just don't understand. Like it just wasn't appealing. I feel like if I had seen this movie when I was younger, when it came out, I think at that moment probably I would have liked this movie because I was like delusional enough to think that I knew what was going on. Now I know I'm not. I don't know. You get older. I know I don't know jack shit. I don't know anything. So I won't go around like admitting that I know what's going on in this movie because I do not. So
where if you're just kind of playing second fiddle to all the people that are already online with all of these fucking bullshit theories and stuff, like because there's a lot of them. But mostly repeat.
It's repetitive.
Harp the same points.
But the one thing I will say is that like even when I was watching those, I was like calling bullshit. I was like, what? Like they're like grasping at straws. Like I'm just like I don't believe any of this shit. What about you, Roland?
Anybody think this is like the least timey-wimeyest movie we've seen so far?
I won't say
No,
that.
because
no.
I think
I'll say
about
12 Monkeys.
12
at this
Monkeys
point,
and
yeah.
even
You
Time
think so?
Bandits
Yeah.
to an extent.
I'll say as far as the level of time travel in the movies we've seen so far, or we've talked about, I'll say tippity top is Time Cop.
Yeah.
And I'll say Donnie Darko. Then I will say
I don't know about Donnie Darko though,
because this is like I said.
if this is an actual
You
thing
don't think
about
Time Bandits had
multidimensionality,
the most fucking time travel elements?
You know what? You're right. That's true
Compared
because
to
they
fucking-
are literally jumping through time.
I mean, it's
So, like,
kind of
yes.
a,
I'll
so I'd
say,
say like
there for
Time
you to
Cop,
see.
Time Bandits.
Donnie Darko, and then 12 Monkeys for me.
I don't know. I would go maybe
I'd say
Monkeys then Darko currently, just because it seems more like it's.
But I felt we came out like
I
just
see
as
your
confused-
Monkeys than
confused with the-
Darko, but I'd still have like Time Bandits and then Time Cop right above those.
But the thing is, we actually
But
get
Time Cop, like they literally are jumping through time.
like
Yeah.
they're literally talking
So
about
was-
like and the
No,
mechanics of it.
but I'm
not
saying, like,
using
there's-
God's
there's-
map.
There's more legit time travel going on in Time Cop. than-
Legit.
Wait, This is your turn. This is your turn to argue now, man. Fuck, there's more.
This is legit time travel. That's going
I've
on
seen the
right
documents.
Christ.
now. If John Claude is jumping through time, it's legit, right?
I mean, does John Claude have a fucking like a time travel map?
Did you see his hair? That's
Yeah,
all- that's all I
what are you
need.
fucking
Yeah,
talking
Moments of
about?
the Future, man.
We spoke about his hair on the episode, bitch. It was perfect.
Well, you know what? I don't know, man. Like at this point, I'm kind of just like wanting to put Donnie Darko in like this kind of like lower state.
Yeah,
because
me too. Because it sucks.
It's also been so long since
'Cause it
I've seen.
sucks.
It's already been like a couple weeks since
it
we've seen Time
sucks.
Cop and Time Bandits also, and I don't even remember what I said specifically about any of those movies.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have to go back and listen to the episode to.
But on the real
figure
though,
it out.
I think that Donnie Darko is the weakest on time travel because really the only time travel thing that happened was him getting that goddamn book. Because
well,
the people argue those little vortex things coming out of him were like him
You know what?
seeing like the future kind
I
of.
will say like the
But
only
he's
way,
not
the only
traveling.
way
He's predicting. It's clairvoyance once again.
I will say that I wouldn't I wouldn't have known about any of this time travel nonsense if I didn't go back and like
Right.
watch this stuff. So like, you know what? You're right. Like on the surface level, watching this for the first time or even watching it a second time, the person wouldn't know that there's really time travel going on, and only the fact that they handed him the book that said the physics, the philosophy of time travel, that you would assume that time travel plays a role in this movie. So
Yeah, because you leave that out, then it's like, oh, it was a fucking dream.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
the only thing I like about this movie is that they tried to do something different with it, like, but they did it in such a way that it makes no fucking sense. I'm talking about like the ideas of time travel or whatever that they were sort of seeming to sort of suggest that they were exploring.
Wait, I mean, like
it seemed like it was some
nerd
cross.
teacher could have said two sentences about something related to time travel and how it would have related to like the overall thrust of the movie. And then after that, he goes, "Oh, but I really shouldn't say anymore because I could get fucking fired." Because
What the fuck?
we're
I
at
don't
like a
understand that.
Christian
Yeah, I don't
school or something,
understand that.
apparently.
You
That
can't
was
talk
really
about time
weird.
travel. and-
Yeah,
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, like
Or whatever.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't know.
I feel like that was like a lazy part on the writing.
probably.
Just
Because
to,
if
like,
you time travel, you're gonna go find Satan, and go join his army early.
maybe this fits in the universe of like Time Bandits. When you go see the Ultimate Evil or some shit. Anywho, they're learning about computers. It's bad. It's bad stuff.
The knowing of computers.
So, I say we can go over like ratings and stuff like that. Unless you
Yeah.
have any last thoughts about this movie that you want to spew out.
I, for one, had way more to say than I thought I would.
Well, that's what I'm saying in the beginning. Like once the conversation goes,
Oh, of course.
we gotta like feed off of everyone else's
But I still, fuck
opinions and
this movie.
stuff. Yeah.
I don't like it as a time travel movie at all.
Again, like the only thing that's interesting about this is the one thing about this movie that you it's not immediately apparent and also tends to be the least sensible thing about it, and that's fucking time travel. Again, like watching this I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Someone told me, I think before I watched it, that it was about time travel, and like, so okay, cool. Let me try to figure out what. And then when I saw the bubbles, I was like, that can't be it. That can't be what they're fucking talking about, because it's just like, okay, that seemed a bit more like you were saying, it's precognition or whatever, so they can see the future.
But that's the thing. I don't fucking believe that anyone.
If that's,
I can't very well believe that anyone who's going around saying that Donnie Darko is like a really fucking good movie, that they really know what
like,
this movie is about.
nah.
I'm inclined to agree.
Like, I don't really believe it. I would like to be proven wrong. I want someone else to come and tell me like their opinion on it.
We're three morons, but when the three of us get together, we come to like one reasonably
one normal sized,
and you know, reasonably. You know, that's a relative term I threw in there purposely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this shit, I don't fucking get the fascination with this movie that folks have. I don't know how it rates so high. Like it's because if you just rub a couple of brain cells together and think about it, it's like, well, I don't see time travel really.
Right.
Like, you tell me there's time travel, so then I kind of project that expectation onto the movie and go, oh, it's a book on time travel.
I think they just said that, and then used
comes
like
back, you know, like it's going to be time travel.
And I'm also curious, as anyone out there who has seen the movie, have you gone any deeper to figure out the movie, or just going by purely superficial level of this movie? Like, whatever the movie is attempting to say or is not saying at all.
Are you full of shit? And like going at this with
Roland, I kind of wanted to say in a very nice way.
I don't.
Like,
I absolutely do not. I don't want to be nice about this fucking movie at all. Like, I'm tired of fucking like people sounding pretentious as fuck about this thing and not understanding shit. And then us trying to figure this fucking thing out and still understanding that it makes no goddamn sense. Having to listen to, you know, other
Roland,
people say otherwise.
What's your rating?
I got it right here.
A 1 out of 5.
Oh, well,
1 out of 5.
All right.
Daniel, what about you?
Wait, you missed. I had a half a knuckle right here. So
1.5?
no, I take it back.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was just 1.
I want to say this movie is, as a time travel movie, I can't rate it because I don't buy that it's actually a time travel movie. Like,
it's like alternate dimension.
Yeah, if they
like,
kind of leaned into the idea of the multiverse, that's even more interesting than time travel, because you could have had like fucking Donnie reading the goddamn book and talk about how these, you know, because it shouldn't be like, it shouldn't have been called the philosophy of time travel. It should have been like the philosophy of like
fortune telling,
the multiverse or whatever. Fortune telling. Yeah.
Sorry. No, like the multiverse would have been
how
a better
to scry
one
101.
Because like, so it seems to me that like the way the whole movie plays out is this guy gets those fucking hallucinations from the future, but like they're telling the future. But the thing is, he's living through it as he's seeing these fucking hallucinations and shit happen.
Yeah, see, I think it's either moving on multiversality,
still
or
somehow,
it's an artsy fartsy dream movie.
Yeah, I think it might be the second one more than anything.
So, what was your rating again?
Did
you say it?
I give it a
0 for a time travel movie.
What about just the overall movie?
Probably like a 2.5. Like, because although it doesn't make sense in a lot of ways, it's like it has been kind of fun to try to suss out.
Okay.
You know, so I'll give it that. Like, not really for my experience of watching it, and just nobody really won me over.
It tries to be fucking high concept and ends up being just like fucking
I'm just confused.
Nonsensical drivel.
I'll give it a 1.5 out of 5, and I'll give it the 0.5 just for the discussion of like us trying to like figure this shit out. That's fine. 1 for just a movie in general. It's just a movie.
They did a thing. Yeah.
It's a movie that's on.
People got
DVD
paid
and stuff, you know. I've seen better movies with Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal in them.
Sure.
Yeah,
but this wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
This one wasn't one of them. And again, maybe I feel like my opinion would have been a lot different if I had seen it around the time it did come out. Just depending on my mindset at the time.
Oh.
But
you probably
now I've seen it now at this point. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So we'll bring this episode to a close. Anyone out there who has watched this movie, tell us in the comments what you thought about Donnie Darko. Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? What do you think? Is this a time travel movie or is it up its own ass?
And always remember, this is going to be on YouTube, so you don't have that 200 characters limit like on Twitter. You can write your essay on.
Or here's the other option. If you want it, I will leave a link to leave us a message. You can actually call and like use your voice to like fucking be angry at us or tell us how great we were.
Yeah, have your like
opinion.
3 glasses of bourbon and then tell us like how we're fucking morons for misunderstanding this movie.
This is the stipulation. You have to be at least 3 drinks in before you leave a message. Remember that. 3 drinks in. Or 3 drinks in to leave a comment on this one. I want to see your typing skills after that. But yeah. Again, like and subscribe if you like. If you hate our opinion on this movie, which I feel a lot of people might, give us a thumbs down if you like. That's fine too.
Go fuck
Input.
yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's like trying to buy a car. Bad credit's better than no credit.
Yeah, that's the saying.
all right, so that'll be it for us. We'll see you on the next time travel. Well, hopefully it's a time travel movie.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
What's next on the docket?
We'll be doing a twofer. The next session, we're doing a Hot Tub Time Machine and Groundhog's Day, which
right.
I've not seen the former, but the latter I would definitely suggest is a time travel movie.
Yes, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah, maybe I'll change my mind.
All right, we'll see you on the next ones.
Yeah, see you dudes.